This video session is about budgeting. I'm Simon, a certified financial coach, and I'm going to cover the 5-step approach to budgeting based on the 50-30-20 rule. The content for this video includes what is budgeting and why it matters, the 5-step approach to budgeting, dive into each of the 5 budgeting steps, and finish up with summary tips. So, what is budgeting and why does it matter? A budget is a plan to allocate your income towards expenses and savings. A budget ensures that you have money to spend on your needs, enjoy the things that you want to have, and achieve the goals you want to achieve. In reality, budgeting and monitoring the budget takes time and effort. But taking the time to manage a budget has huge benefits. It gives you control over your money, it lets you know if you're living within your means, and keeps you focused on your financial goals. So what does it take to have a budget? This 5-step approach is common and practical. Step 1, calculate your after-tax income. Step 2, identify and categorize your expenses. Step 3, set your financial goals. Step 4, align your budget with your goals. Step 5, revise your actual expenses versus budget periodically. We will dive into details of each step individually. Step 1 is to calculate your after-tax income. This is your starting point of budgeting that is calculated by taking your pre-tax income and excluding all the taxes that are being deducted from your paycheck or taxes that you pay on your income if these taxes are not automatically deducted, like in the case of self-employed people. You can look up the numbers to calculate your net income from a pay stub if you get one from your employer. If you receive a bonus or commission or stock, you need to prorate this income and add it to your monthly income. If you're self-employed or have an irregular income, you need to estimate your income for a year and prorate it to a monthly income. Here is an example of how after-tax income calculation works. Your pre-tax income has 3 components: salary, bonus, and stock, for a total monthly gross income of $12,000. Your taxes based on your paycheck deductions is for federal, state, Medicare, and Social Security, totaling $3,800. Deducting the taxes from pre-tax income results into post-tax income of $8,200. This is the amount we would be using as after-tax income for budgeting. Step 2 is identify and categorize your expenses. This is the most elaborate step and time-consuming step. In this step, you will figure out the money and where is it going. Start by listing your fixed expenses. These are regular monthly bills such as housing, utilities, and card payments. Next, list your variable expenses. These may change from month to month, such as groceries, gas, and entertainment. Make sure to include all expenses: cash, mobile, and payments done with debit and credit cards. If you don't have an exact number for variable expenses, no worries. An estimate is good enough. Take a look at your statements of the past several months and validate the estimates. Next, go over all the expense line items and mark each expense either need, want, or saving. Needs are expenses for day-to-day living necessities that you can't avoid, such as housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, and insurance. Wants are expenses for non-essential items or services that enhance your lifestyle but are not mandatory. This may include dining out, entertainment, travel, hobbies, subscriptions. Savings is the money that you're putting away for your financial goals. This money could go towards an emergency fund, retirement savings, short and long-term goals. This is how your budgeting spreadsheet will look when you start step 2, with cells being empty. And this is how your budgeting spreadsheet will look when you complete step 2, with the dollar amounts indicating spends and cells marked as fixed, variable, needs, and wants. Step 3 is to set your financial goals. This is the step you make a list of your short and long-term goals so that you can make each goal into a savings category line item. Short-term goals are the ones that may take a few to 18 months to achieve and might include things like setting up an emergency fund, paying down credit card debt, remodel project of a home, or a vacation. Long-term goals may take longer to achieve and might include things like your child's education, saving or increasing retirement savings, paying off student loan, or mortgage quicker. The goals don't have to be set in stone. They may change over time, but identifying them helps motivate you to remain on a budget. In step 4, you align your budget with your goals. This is where everything comes together. What you're actually spending versus you want to spend. The 50-30-20 budgeting technique divides your take-home income into 3 categories. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. Needs, as we covered before, are expenses that you can't live without them. Wants are expenses that you can live without them, but are not essential. Savings is the category of funds needed to achieve for short and long-term financial goals that you identified in step 3. Based on the 50-30-20 budgeting technique, you're supposed to allocate 50% of your take-home income to needs, up to 30% to wants, and the remaining 20% to savings. Now that you've documented your income and spending, you can see how you are doing in reference to the budgeting technique and make any necessary adjustments to meet your budgetary goals. This is how your budgeting summary will look when you complete step 4. There are a few possible outcomes for this budgeting process. One outcome is your total of needs, wants, and savings is under 100%. Your budget in this case is in a great shape. You can increase your savings or your wants or both. The second outcome is your total needs, wants, and savings is over 100%. Your budget is not in a great shape. You need to make adjustments. Look at your wants first. If your wants is over 30%, you need to lower your wants. After lowering your wants, if your total is still over 100%, look at your savings. If your savings are over 20%, you need to lower your savings. After lowering your savings, if your total is still over 100%, look at your needs and think of ways to lower them. Here are some examples for lowering wants. Can you make coffee at home and skip the drink at the coffee shop? Can you pick up your order and food yourself and save on the delivery fee? Can you skip buying a new outfit that you usually buy for yourself monthly? Here are some examples for lowering needs. Can you shop for a better rate on your auto and housing insurance? Can you find a way to lower your utility expenses? Can you lower your rent or your mortgage? Remember, even small savings can add up to a lot of money. You might be surprised on how much extra money you can accumulate by making one minor adjustment at a time. Remember, budget and percentages are guidelines. You may need to adjust them based on your individual circumstances and financial goals. In step 5, you commit to review your actual expenses versus budget periodically. This is an important step to make sure you're staying on track. Some people do this monthly, some quarterly, and some semi-annually, depending on your personal situation and preferences. Some elements of your budget may change over time. You may get a raise, your expenses may change, or you may reach a goal and want to plan for a new one. If your financial situation changes, it is essential to reassess and adjust your budget accordingly. Whatever the reason, get into the habit of regularly checking with your budget, following the steps we discussed. To summarize, these are the important tips for managing your 50-30-20 budget. Use a budgeting app or spreadsheet to track your expenses and stay on top of your budget. Be realistic and don't underestimate your needs or overestimate your wants. Adjust the percentages as needed. The 50-30-20 rule is a guideline, not a hard and fast rule. Review your budget periodically. You may need to adjust your budget as your income and expenses change. Feel free to drop any questions in the comment section and I will respond promptly. If you found this session valuable, please like it. Our next video will be about actual use of a budgeting template, and you're welcome to subscribe to be informed about it. Thank you for watching.